This is 7 News, the voice of the New England.
Tonight, a mother with a choking baby turned away from Wee Waa Hospital due to a lack of staff.
Regional residents left without mobile and internet service due to a nationwide Optus outage.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, dozens of Sydney businesses smashed as shop owners were left helpless. And back on his feet, Glenn Maxwell's double-century heroics.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. The opening hours of a small community hospital is in the spotlight tonight after a choking baby was turned away.
The Wee Waa Hospital closes its doors at 5:30 each night now, with locals urged to call an ambulance instead. But there are concerns medical help could arrive too late.
7-month-old Daisy swallowed a gum tree leaf last Tuesday. Her mum, Taylor Seaton, says she turned blue and seemed to be choking.
So we brought her down to the hospital. When we got here, it was 6:05. We were told that we were met at the door and told that we can't come in because they were closed and there was no one here to help us.
Since May, staff shortages have forced Wee Waa's Community Hospital to reduce its hours of operation, with the emergency department only open from 8 to 5:30 each day.
The baby was still silently choking. She was gasping for air, making a gulping sound, and I just knew something wasn't right still.
So while outside the hospital, Miss Seaton was told by hospital staff to call paramedics and have an ambulance meet them at home.
We were lucky it was only a leaf and hopefully, cleared pretty easily, but if it was something else and a kid came here and got turned away, it could end a whole lot differently.
Hunter New England Health says it's informed the community about the reduced hours and encourages anyone wanting medical attention to either call an ambulance or seek assistance in Narrabri. But there's concern medical help could arrive too late for those in a serious condition. In a statement to 7 News, it says feedback from our patients is taken very seriously, and senior staff from Wee Waa Health Service have contacted the family to discuss their concerns.
People have got to come from Pilliga, Burren. If you were coming from there with a choking child, they're not going to last. If you get here and you've got nobody to help you, you don't get second chances with this stuff. They're your babies.
Rachel Holdsworth, 7 News.
And Rachel Holdsworth broke this story and is with us now from Tamworth. And Rachel, what's being done to boost staff numbers in Wee Waa?
Maddie, Hunter New England Health say it recently recruited nurses for the hospital, but it's not enough to provide safe care for all hours. In a statement to 7 News, New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association say episodes like this are a clear example of why we need reform in the state's public hospitals, are staffed, and why we need well-paid quality jobs that will attract and retain nurses. Hunter New England Health is declining to tell us how many vacancies there are at the hospital, and they have vowed that until there are adequate numbers, normal hours won't resume, which means members of the public will continue to rely on New South Wales Ambulance or drive to Narrabri, which is a half-hour's drive away.
Thanks for the update, Rachel. Rachel Holdsworth reporting there for us tonight.
Optus is tonight slowly turning on its nationwide network after a catastrophic failure. The major telco services went down before dawn, creating havoc for thousands of New England customers, both at home and at work.
A crowd of Optus customers gathered outside the Tamworth store early this morning. Locals frustrated by the telco giant's nationwide outage.
It's unreliable. I've actually just ported over to Telstra.
Oh, just today?
Yep.
Really?
Yep, only 10 minutes ago.
Was this the final straw?
It was the final straw. If I can't get in touch with people and have that contact, no good.
Thousands across the region were left without the use of the service after a fault in the network.
From the outset, I reiterate that it is vital for Optus to be transparent and timely in the updates that it is giving to its customers.
Connection has now been restored for customers, but Optus is still unsure of what exactly caused the outage. CEO Kelly Bayer-Rasmarin was in communication with the federal government, telling them the outage wasn't related to a cyber attack.
The CEO informs me that what has occurred is to do with the deep core network of Optus, and they are working to identify precisely the fault.
The outages also affected those who needed to make calls to 000. Customers were advised to use their mobile phones as fixed phone lines were unable to make calls.
New England businesses were also impacted. While taxi driver Ryan Newbury wasn't directly affected, he still encountered problems in his day-to-day work.
If you've got no network provider or no service, then you can't call up and order a taxi. So people contacting us to get their booking in the system has been a problem.
Taxi customers also left unable to pay for their rides.
If you've got your card linked to your phone and if you've got no service or no network provider on your phone, then we're unable to do the tap and go with the phone.
Hugh Pearson, 7 News.
Retail crime is on the rise across the state, including in our own backyard. New South Wales Crime Stoppers is warning offenders of the consequences of theft and asking retailers to be aware.
Martin Howes manages Centrepoint in Tamworth. Housing stores like Rebel and JB Hi-Fi have added value to the shopping experience. However, they're also big targets for theft.
Big brands are always the things that people are after. Everyone wants a big brand piece of clothing or some sort of electronic goods.
Retail theft has increased by 47% in the last 12 months. It's a staggering number, but New South Wales Crime Stoppers claims it will continue to rise.
We haven't seen an increase like this for a very long time, and that is because of cost of living pressures, not only here in Australia but around the world.
We've had an increase in not only specific ages, it's a mixture of age, mixture of gender, and it's a mixture of items.
Working in retail can be stressful, and employees find the holiday period even harder.
It puts a lot more of mental health and mental stress, especially on our juniors. They're just beginning their life and their experiences.
A recent survey by the Australian Retailers Association found that 92% of members had either experienced verbal or physical abuse themselves at work or a colleague. Prevention only goes so far. Magnetic tags and security doors deter most crimes. The consequences of stealing and getting convicted at any age can affect your life.
How do you put a price on getting a criminal record? If you get a criminal record, you can't travel overseas.
Crime Stoppers are warning offenders. If they steal, they will be caught. Olivia Babb, 7 News.
The Reserve Bank's decision to raise interest rates has put the housing market on a knife's edge. Experts say there's no end in sight for the near future, but the stress can be eased. That's if you know the tricks of the trade.
18 months ago, the first interest rate increase was announced. Now we've hit a 12-year high after yesterday's decision to raise it to 4.35%.
What's that going to mean for homeowners and also investors? I did a quick calculation on a $500,000 loan. It means an increase of $37 a week.
People certainly don't like it, but I think they're accepting it. Yeah, and some households are managing a lot better than others.
The hikes are heavy for regional home buyers. The median house price in Tamworth has gone up 13% over the past 12 months to September to just under $529,000. And the price for a unit has gone up 17.5% to just under $375,000.
Certainly at the affordable end of the market, we still continually need more properties.
In the regional areas, we don't have the income that they have in Sydney, therefore they simply just can't afford us.
Experts predict we will continue to see the RBA rising and pausing rates well into 2025.
We have seen an increase in people making sure, instead of going to just the one lender, we can see the multiple lenders, so they really want to make sure they're on the best deal available.
The RBA will next meet on December 5th to decide if another rate rise is warranted. If you're a homeowner, the best advice is to learn how to budget and to ask for a rate review so that you can save where you can.
If you're looking at making any large purchases, make sure you check your finances and your loans before you commit into those large purchases.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty is here now for a look at today's weather. And Kirsty, it's been a warm day with some showers about.
Yes, good evening to you, Nick, and hello, Maddie. Good evening, everyone. Some very mixed weather for the New England and the northwest today. Maximums reach the 20s and into the 30s in the west. Muggy conditions as well. We had that high humidity, particularly this morning with warm north to northwesterly winds. Our minimums also very warm as well, thanks to that cloud cover trapping in heat overnight, particularly warm in the west. Narrabri, a low of 19 degrees. degrees ahead of 32 today. We did have areas of showers around Boggabri early this morning with some storms moving through about lunchtime. Murrurundi picking up 12 millimetres in just over half an hour. We've seen about a millimetre for Gunnedah. Showers continuing tomorrow and Friday with storms. I'll have the details shortly.
Thanks, Kirsty. See you in a couple of minutes.
Still to come in 7 News, computer enthusiasts learn the basics of coding in a 2-day course.
And up-and-coming country music stars selected for Star Maker 2024.
And a little later on this news hour, questions grow over how the war will end as Israel forces make their way into the heart of Gaza City. Plus, a driver faces court charged over the crash that killed 2 teens in Sydney. And back on his feet, Glenn Maxwell's double-century heroics.
Welcome back. The top 10 finalists for the 2024 Star Maker competition have been announced. This year's finalists were found all over Australia, and there's one singer who hails from Manila.
It's the competition that launched superstars Troy Cassar-Daley and Keith Urban. For 44 years, young hopefuls have been auditioning to win the title and a chance at stardom.
We're so proud of the long history we have in Australian country music, and we've got some really fantastic winners who are out there flying the flag for Australian country music.
Tamworth's Lauren Ryan was last year's Star Maker winner. The experience has propelled her career, but it's also boosted her confidence.
It's been an absolute wild ride. I've learned to back myself.
With 10 hopefuls going head-to-head in a matter of months, it's anyone's chance. Manila-born and bred Jim Bob Stokes is the only local talent in the mix.
20 years ago, a bit of a hub around Tamworth and particularly traditional country, but now all the cities are into it and it's growing sort of exponentially.
The winner takes home a bevy of prizes, including a brand new Toyota for 12 months and a trip to Nashville. This year, agency Wheelhouse has partnered with the competition, with successful stars like Casey Barnes and Amy Shepherd already on the books.
They take care of country music artists exclusively, and so to be on that agency with like Travis Collins and Taylor Moss and all these people who are doing incredible things.
The event will be held during the Tamworth Country Music Festival in January. Olivia Babb, 7 News.
The New England Northwest region could soon be home to a generation of coders. A program targeted at encouraging Indigenous children to join the STEM industry has stopped in Tamworth, aiming to fill a severe skills shortage.
The future of engineering in our own backyard.
We definitely believe in if you see it, you can be it. We try where we can to make sure that these programs are facilitated by First Nations instructors.
Going into the future where technology is really driving what we do, driving our economy, I want our mob to be part of that.
The program Deadly Coders ran its first regional New South Wales course in Tamworth. A 2-day event aimed at teaching Indigenous children how to code, as well as building their own robots and designing video games.
I heard about it from a workmate. They asked me if I wanted to do it, so yeah, I quickly got up from my chair and got in there. I think just learning coding, it's really good. It's very relaxing there.
I've heard them say personally that they are passionate and interested in coding and looking to create their own games and their own apps.
So, we are going to be coding Pong.
Deadly Coders aims to address 2 major shortages, boosting workers in the STEM industry and encouraging more young people to get involved.
But also helps young people to develop those critical skills around problem solving, logical thinking, analysing data.
That's what I get out of it. Yeah, and seeing them sort of come in a bit quiet, and then once they can see that they can do it, they start to open up, they start to talk more.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
Up next in 7 News, a local boxer prepares to step on the scales for his professional fight.
And sporting greats will arrive in Tamworth for a star-studded lunch.
Tamworth's Lemuel Cilicia will step back into the ring this weekend. But first, he has to make weight. Coach Jamie Carroll going above and beyond to ensure his fighter is ready for Saturday.
A second professional bout looms for Lemuel Cilicia. Looking fighting fit as he steps on the scale with another kilo left to drop. He's now drastically cutting back on food and fluids as he aims to make weight.
Monitoring his weight and make sure we get
get to the scales and win the first battle. That's getting to weight.
This weekend, he'll take on Simon Rendina in Redhead. There's no pre-fight jitters for the man labelled the Destroyer.
No, I'm not nervous. I'm just ready. Yeah, 100% ready for this.
When trying to make weight, there are plenty of temptations for pro fighters. Lems and Jamie have been breaking bread all week to ensure he stays on track.
He's been eating at my house, so I've been monitoring what he eats. He does like KFC.
According to Lems, it's the perfect setup.
I've been eating like a king this week. I got a chef, a cook for me, coach looking after my food, make sure I eat properly.
For Jamie, it's tradition that stretches back years.
1-2 boxing started in my backyard, so on Saturday mornings when we used to spar, we used to go up and all have breakfast. So feeding the fighters, I've been doing that for a while.
Do you think he's a better coach or a better chef?
Both. He's a better chef and a better coach.
Max Gent, 7 News.
The Northern Inland Academy of Sport will host its last 2 football trials over the next week as they begin team selections for next season. Tomorrow, it's Gunnedar's turn before a final session in Tamworth next Thursday. Players are being encouraged to attend both trials if they are to earn a spot on the team. The Group 4 Sportsman's Lunch will make its return to West's Leagues Club later this month with Kerry O'Keefe headlining the afternoon. Scull is expected to tell a few of his iconic jokes on the day and will be joined by NRL legends Josh Reynolds and James Graham. The event will kick off on November 24 in the Blazers showroom. Former 1-2 boxing great Brandon Grash will run it back this week as he lines up on his second no-limit card this year. The heavyweight will face Liam Taliva on the undercard of the Nikita Zoo fight in Newcastle. The man they call the Bull earning his spot after his win over Johan Lind in Sydney in September. Well, up next in Sydney, in 7 News, Kirsty is back and she's got your local weather.
Welcome back, everyone. Rain-bearing troughs and a low-pressure system over New South Wales are triggering showers and thunderstorms, some of which could become severe. We are also experiencing warm winds and humid conditions thanks to a high-pressure system drawing warmth but creating instability over the state. The wet weather should ease across the weekend, but that's when we'll see temperatures skyrocket as well as our fire danger ratings increase. The New England and the Northwest could see moderate rainfall tomorrow and again on Friday. Over the coming week, we're expecting totals up around 25 millimetres for the region. The Tablelands could see much heavier rainfall, though, embedded within isolated thunderstorms. On to our Thursday weather forecast. Some sunshine around tomorrow ahead of that high chance of showers during the afternoon and evening. As little as 2 millimetres, but as much as 15 millimetres could fall. Storms around 2 during the second half of the day, with our temperatures ranging from the low 20s into the low 30s. Wet weather will persist for the end of our working week on Friday as we feel heat build towards the weekend. Tamworth 29 degrees with up to 8 millimetres of rain. In the east around Armidale and Glen Innes we could see up to 15 millimetres once again. Thunderstorms around through the afternoon and early evening with gusty winds, and despite the forecast rain, with the heat and the windy weather combining, we're expecting a high fire danger rating to return to the Northwest Fire District. On Saturday that fire danger rating will remain elevated as wind speeds pick up to more than 35 kilometres an hour. Rain easing, I should say, back to a sunny day under the influence of that high pressure. Another hot day for Scone, 35 degrees, Inverell 29, and even the Barrington tops reaching the low 20s. Through to the next 7 days, we're not expecting much reprieve from this heat until about mid next week when we drop back to the high 20s, remaining well above average this time of year. We're certainly welcoming rainfall over the next 48 hours, all before 35 degrees on Sunday.
Yes, a very hot week ahead. Thanks, Kirsty. See you later.
And that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can always catch up on our website.
Right now, though, Dan has your national news. Have a lovely night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6 o'clock. See you then.